Good morning and welcome to this week's episode of Positive Vibes. And trying to figure out what camera I'm on here. Okay, there we go. I'm on that camera. All right, just a sec here. Let me. Okay, there we go. Yeah, well, good. Let me start over. Good morning. Welcome to this week's episode of Positive Vibes. And again, my name is Shane Nikolic, if you don't already know, and I'm your host for the show. And Positive Vibes, making positivity and gratitude louder in a podcast world. And this morning, I thought I had a guest, but I didn't. And I put out a call on social media, and I haven't had anyone say they want to be a guest this morning. So I'm just going to be, I'm going to be reading another portion of my book, Live the Passionate Life and Quit Settling for Survival. And if you'd like to interrupt my reading and call in and be a guest on my show, or just have a chat for a while, the number is area code 253-777-8864. And again, 253-777-8864. And if that's not the right number, you'll be waking someone up probably. No, that's the number. But at any rate, yeah. Let's see, no comments. So, all right. I figured someone might be commenting, so I'd look on there to see if anyone wanted to be a guest. All right. Well, I'm just gonna pick up where I left off. I think this is where I left off anyway. Pretty sure. And this is from page 96 in my book, getting close to the end. In the world today, okay, and I wrote this book in, actually I didn't write it. Yeah, I wrote it and published it in 2016. So I finished this book in late 2015. But yeah, so, anyway, in the world today, with all of the negativity that is going on, crime, war, disease, etc., darkness seems to be taking over the light, or at least making progress. Every time I turn on the news, which is rare anymore, I hear of another murder, bombing, or whatever the current color of the Homeland Security advisory system is, or nowadays with the coronavirus and the lockdown situation, quarantine, whatever. In the phase of getting out of that, as it were. I don't know where we're at. We just went back to phase 2 for safety's sake, I guess. But at any rate, is so that I know how much fear I should be in regarding a possible terrorist attack. Every day there are kidnappings, robberies, muggings, and assaults taking place all over the world. Disease and illness is adapting and multiplying as if it were alive. People are constantly dying as a result of these and many more negative things. We must not succumb to the negativity in the world if we wish to stay on the path of progress toward the passionate life. I have found that so long as I refuse to give in to the darkness and negativity that exists in the world, and instead do my best to stay positive and bring light wherever I go, my life is better. I am not living in the past or future, but I am living in the present, and there is no room for negativity in the here and now, this tiny speck of time. The past was what it was, and it is gone. Its lessons will carry on, but it is gone. The future is not here yet, but my attitude and actions today will help shape tomorrow's attitudes and actions. If we want to continue moving forward, and working on the realization of our dreams, we must stay positive and stay focused. If we do this and do so with bold enthusiasm, others will see this and they may also become positive-minded people moving in a positive direction. This will happen because of the mirror neurons that I mentioned earlier. If someone puts off a positive vibe, they not only attract positivity into their life. I wasn't looking at the camera, I was looking somewhere else. Anyway, if somebody puts off a positive vibe, they not only attract positivity into their life, they also mirror that positivity onto others. I suppose if one wishes to be eternally stuck in the pool of pessimism, they should not be around positive people if they do not want to be saved from drowning. If we wish to be totally positive, we need to be with positive people, read positive things, listen to positive things, and basically take in nothing but positivity. Of course, it's life, in the world, there's going to be a little negativity, but, you can dwell on that or, choose not to. Some negativity will come our way, but we will be armed and ready to defend ourselves against it. There will be naysayers that try to stop us and hold us back by raining on our parade and showering us with their negativity, but we must persist in holding off their negative energy with the positive aura that surrounds us. We must keep up the umbrella of positivity to protect us from the showers of negativity that will attempt to dampen our spirits in the stormy world we live in. We must not give in to the fears and doubts that may arise from time to time. We must learn to work with them if we expect to work without them. I still have a fear that this book will not be accepted by a publisher and burned to ashes, but I am writing it anyway. Sorry about that. I still have a fear that I will never amount to anything other than a dishwasher, but my hope for something better outweighs the fear. At times when life seems to be going great, I fear that something bad is going to happen. But when it has done so in the past, I have been able to keep on moving forward. Looking over my life up to this point, being honest with myself, only a very small percentage of my fears ever became reality anyway. Some fears are healthy and they keep us safe, such as not walking through bad parts of town for the fear that we might be mugged or shot. Most fears prove groundless, never becoming reality, as a child's bed never does harbor a monster underneath. We must come to the realization that fears are always going to be there, no matter how optimistic we are, and we must learn to carry on to the best of our ability, despite having some fear and doubt inside us. Let us make fear and doubt our passengers and not our drivers. Now, if I were to jump out of an airplane without a parachute, that would be a bold and fearless move. However, that would be a stupid and pointless move if I expected to make it to dinner with my wife that night, let alone be alive at all. In that respect, life has no do-overs, yet we are given second chances at life, and often more than that. I am eternally grateful for the chances I have been given at life, yet I have not felt in my heart that I have actually done everything I could do to be all that I can be. I have always had the drive to survive, but I have not fully felt the charge to live large. That charge is the thing that I have been missing, that was the necessary ingredient for me to move forward in my life with bold enthusiasm. Some enthusiasm is needed to stay afloat. in the world today. With the way things seem to be going, everyone, including myself, leaning toward easier, faster, lazier ways of doing things. Even communicating used to take more energy to do, one having to get a pen and a piece of paper to write a note or a letter to send in the mail. Now they just pull their phone out of their pocket, press a few buttons, and bam, their text message or email is on its way. At times, I find myself fighting the urge to stop pushing so hard to be energetic and do things in a little slower, more thorough, and methodical way. The world seems to be going the way of speed and quantity rather than quality, regardless of how long it takes. We all want to reach our dreams as fast as we can, but we should not skimp on the cement put into the foundation unless we are prepared for a catastrophic collapse of the structure we are building. We must build a sturdy structure upon which to stand if we are to reach our ultimate destination safely. We must take the steps that are necessary for us to reach our dreams, but we must do so with the knowledge that we are going through the process correctly. I would not want to start out full force just to get mostly done and realize I forgot to dot an I or cross a T and the whole document is headed for the shredder. If we are feeling stuck, either in the present or pleasant life, and there is need to progress toward our dreams, then there is a definite need for change. It is time for us to look at the way we are dealing with life. First and foremost, I feel we should look at ourselves and how we treat us. Do we have low or high self-esteem? If we have a low sense of self-worth, that could be the reason we do not move on to better things in our lives, simply because we do not feel as if we deserve to go to the next level. Maybe we feel that we would pull the structure down on our heads because we have done so in the past and do not think that we can get past the setback. Do we reward ourselves for a job well done? When we finish a project with excellence, either a quality job done in a smaller amount of time than anticipated, or simply a fantastic result which surpasses all expectations, do we treat ourselves to a special event or even a day of rest? These are things we must do for ourselves in order to keep up our spirits along the journey toward our dreams. If someone is doing these things for us already, let us compliment their actions by doing them for ourselves as well, if we are so situated. We must feel confident that we can do what needs to be done in order to carry on toward our dreams, lest we stay stuck for a lack of confidence. Looking in the opposite direction, we need to ask ourselves about the way we treat others. How do we interact with them? Are we treating them as lower than ourselves, or do we show them love and respect as they are equals or better? Do we talk with them about how they are, or do we berate them and tell them how we think they ought to be? Do we show them more approval than disapproval? Do we have open lines of communication, or do they shrink from attempting to reach out to us because of our negative attitude? All of the above questions, and any more you can come up with, are very good to ask indeed. They are not required, but they are very helpful for us to judge if our present ways of dealing with ourselves and others are beneficial or not. Either way, if we find we are stuck and not moving forward toward our dreams, chances are that we are negative or have become that way. If we are negative, we need to change because we are giving off negative vibes and pushing away the positive energy that we need to proceed. If we are positive, we need not worry, since we are already stoked up with the proper ingredient for progress. Once we are sure that our attitude and thought life are on the plane of positivity, we can then start putting goodness out into our surroundings, be it in the form of positive words, good deeds, or simply positive thoughts. Projecting positivity into the world is a good way to move forward. Not only will it cause us to have an even better attitude, but it will bring others closer to us, as they will be attracted by our positive aura. They even stand a chance of mirroring our positivity and becoming positive themselves. Besides, even if others do not take on the positive vibes we are emitting, the world will take them on and disperse of them properly. To put it another way, you must expect the best from the world around you. If parents expect the best from their children, they are more likely to succeed. The children put in the extra effort because extra is expected from them. If one expects to get good output from something or someone, then they better have some good input to give. If one belittles their child by telling them that they are not good enough and will never amount to much, the child is likely to have a shattered confidence and lack of self-worth, which culminate in the child becoming an unsuccessful adult. This is not always the case, but that is the most likely result of those conditions. I'll just say it's likely the result of those conditions anyway. When children or even adults are given high expectations, they tend to more clearly see their dreams and have more of a charge to go after them. It may seem like expecting too much of them, but if it does, you may want to check your opinion of your own children. And on that same note, if you're not expecting too much of yourself, you might want to check that, because if you expect more, if you expect more of yourself, you might reach for bigger dreams. You might be able to, reach higher, reach your dreams, have a higher chance of reaching your dreams anyway. If you're expecting to. For a long time, I didn't expect much of myself, so I never really made much progress at all toward my dreams. Didn't expect much, so I got what I was expecting. Now that I'm expecting more, I'm getting more. It's how the universe works, I guess. When you get into back to my reading. When you get into your car with the intention of driving to the store, you don't even stop to think of the brake failing as you come to a stop sign or light. You simply expect that it is going to work. When you jump out of an airplane and pull the ripcord on your parachute, you simply expect it to work. When you get into a boat, you expect it to float. Instead of expecting failure at times like those, we expect success. So long as proper maintenance is done, failure is rather rare, and success is to be expected. So long as we are maintaining the operation of our minds and bodies, we should expect success of ourselves. The same goes for others. We must expect success at all times. Otherwise, failure can creep in and take place. When we ourselves or someone else starts the journey toward our dreams, we should be boldly enthusiastic and cheering the entire way. Good self-esteem and cheering oneself on can get a person pretty far, but positivity coming from outside ourselves does wonders. From it, we receive encouragement, motivation, and support. I remember when I was in junior high school, as the water boy of the football team, watching those guys on the field come alive and get fired up when the fans got loud and started cheering them on. When I raced BMX as a young boy, I recall that fire inside me flaring up and the little ball of energy exploding and becoming a force to be reckoned with, as I could hear and see my family cheering me on from the sidelines. It seems to me that sometimes we get so lost in the scuffle of trying to get our own lives squared away that we do not cheer on other people, even those we love. Let us not get so bound up in our struggles and triumphs that we pay no attention to those of the people around us. Often we find answers for our lives through helping others with theirs. And we get picked up by cheering for others. It is a paradoxical truth that we gain by giving away. I have seen this happen countless times and experienced it for myself. If everyone was busy loving one another and cheering them on, just imagine what the state of the world would be like. The general tone of society would be transmuted from one in which everyone is trying to struggle to the top of the heap or to hide underneath, to one in which everyone is too busy loving and cheering people on that they have no time for negative output. Brendan, referring to Brendan Burchard, tells the story of how at the very moment he was in a really bad accident, he was faced with 3 questions. Did I live? Did I love? And did I matter? I have asked myself these questions regarding my own life, and I can answer them all with a resounding yes. Even still, I can carry on and strengthen my resolve to do more. I can live more fully, doing the things that I do more passionately. I can love my wife and my family more fully and passionately. I can do more that matters to myself and the world around me, serving my fellow travelers on this journey of life. I should really do a new edition of my book here and take out the word wife since I'm not married. But then again, if I get remarried, that'll come into play again. So, anyway, back to the story. Living the passionate life requires a zest for life itself, a love for all that it entails, and a constant consciousness of the here and now. Yes, we need to have that spark or charge to keep moving forward and pushing ahead. However, we need passion to keep the fire stoked and blazing, a passion for the whole enchilada and not just some of the ingredients. If we are to reach our dreams and bring them into reality, we must be fully conscious, engaged, and present, and stay that way for the duration until we reach our dreams and beyond. I have had a few dreams or really big goals through the years, but I have never followed through. I would get started, maybe completing the first step or two down the path, but then get distracted by something shiny and lose my motivation to continue on that path. I hereby solemnly swear that shiny objects are no good for the simple fact that they cause nothing but distraction. Okay. One thing that stops people... One thing that stops people from continuing to move forward on the path of progress is the thought that they are not deserving of anything better than what they have in the present. Some do not even feel like they deserve what they already have. Maybe it stems from being bullied at school, or being abused at home when they were children, or any number of things like that. Regardless of the reason for thinking and or feeling one is undeserving, know that you ultimately have the control to decide whether you are deserving or not. Everyone starts out as a deserving individual, deserving better as they travel through life. In the end, it is they who deem themselves as undeserving of something better. Yeah. In the end, it is they who deem themselves as undeserving of something better, unworthy of being at that next level, even if they are fully capable of attaining it. Maybe it is that they are waiting for someone to tell them they are deserving of that something better, that next level. I have had this way of thinking and feeling take over my life in the past. There was only one person to be ultimately responsible for my change of mind and heart, from undeserving to deserving. That was none other than myself. As soon as I decided that, you know what? I am deserving of something better. I got back on the path of progress and started moving forward once again. If you are feeling like you do not deserve something better, you are waiting for someone to tell you that you are deserving of it. Let me tell you that you are deserving of all that the universe has available to you. You can tell yourself that you are deserving, getting the same result, but I want to reaffirm it anyway. You are deserving. Maybe your new mantra needs to be, I am deserving. Hey, good morning, Rico. Oh, Sherry. It's the number is 253-777-8864. Let's see, is it turned on? There we go. Yeah, it's on. Okay, let's see here. Might have someone calling in here. For a long time, I did not really feel that I was capable, let alone deserving, of reaching that next level, that next stage of life. I did not feel capable, partly because I never even tried. Once I did try to reach that next step and notice some progress, I continued trying. As I kept on trying and seeing the progress that I was making as a result of my putting forth the effort, I was increasingly aware of my capabilities being greater than I had thought they were. As of my 40th birthday, I had been alive for 14,610 days. That's a lot of days that I survived and made it through to see the next. Granted, I have had a lot of help along the way, but there have been a lot of days when it was just me trudging along the path. And so it seemed at the time anyway. That just tells me that my capability is pretty darn good when it comes to getting through life and all of the stuff that it entails. Think about that. We have made it through a lot of stuff, good and bad, to get to this time and place where we are, the here and now. That's it, Sherry. We are still breathing and our hearts are still beating. It is true for me and for you as well if you are still reading my book. Your ability to make it through stuff, good and bad, is really excellent. If you do not believe me, just look at your track record. The saying goes that the proof is in the pudding. You are still here. So be proud of your capabilities that got you to the here and now, and keep on going. Society in general, at least the media would have you believe, has become a bunch of sniveling, whining, smartphone carrying, rather boring, if looked at from a subjective point of view, parodies of the people that once inhabited the world. I don't know. That was just that was just one overview that I saw when I looked. A lot of people want to get Just a moment here. Someone's trying to call in. Just a moment here. Let me. Okay, try again, Sherry. I have my friend Sherry trying to call into the station here, but let's see. Yeah, I just verified the volumes all the way up. I'm not sure. Let's see. Okay, I lost my place here. Oh yeah. Actually, if you're unable to call in on this number, and on this phone, I'm not sure that it will go on the air. Actually, yeah, I'm going to leave that for another time. I'm not sure about this phone, because if you're not able to call in, I'm not sure it's. Let's see. It looks like it's all connected, so I don't know what's going on with it. Okay. Sorry about that, Sherry. We're gonna have to try another time. I know I have a guest for next week already gonna be on, but we'll get back to that later. Where I was at here, let me reread this. Society in general, at least the media would have you believe, has become a bunch of sniveling, whining, smartphone carrying, rather boring, if looked at from a subjective point of view, parodies of the people that once inhabited the world. And I've gotten that from actually not many people my age. Mostly people like a generation ahead of me, a generation older than me, saying, wanting to get back to the old ways of doing things, and staying traditional like that. Not wanting all this technology and quote unquote laziness and all that, and just I don't know, that's what I saw when I was looking, what I saw and what I heard. A lot of people have lost their genuine selves in place of the people the world would have us be. Emotions have been replaced by emoticons, deep conversations by brief text messages, and lengthy phone calls by one-page emails. We have opted for ease and comfort rather than taking the time and feeling this life that we are living. Maybe this is why there is so much turmoil in the world today. Sadly, people have become so tuned into what the latest fashion is, whoever the sexiest model is, or whichever the savviest smartphone is, and probably could not tell you the last time they smiled so big their face hurt. In all likelihood, most people cannot tell you when the last time that they laughed so hard that tears came out of their eyes. They loved so deeply they got lost in caring about the other person. They were so happy that they giggled as they did when they were a child, not at all caring what others thought about their outburst, or had such a grand time that it should have been an entire chapter dedicated to it in the annals of the world. When was the last time you felt so deeply that it caused you to think differently about that emotion? When was the last time an emotion was so bold inside of you that it caused you to change the course of your day or even your life? The concept of humility and being humble is good and all, but we shall not lie down and allow the world to do with us whatever it wishes. We shall awaken to the fact that our destiny lies within our grasp, and it is we ourselves that shall bring it to fruition. Through controlling our own thoughts and behaviors, we shall alter our point of sail so that we can stay within the waters of positivity. We have been lingering in stormy seas for too long and have begun to take on water. It is time to enter a period of smooth sailing in which you can stay as long as you like. The only reason you have to go back into choppy waters is if you so choose. Today, I choose to live in joy, and so can you. All you have to do is make the choice. Yes, it is that simple. You need permission? In the name of all that is positive, joyous, and uplifting, poof, I hereby give you permission to be joyous and live a life of joy. For years, I read, watched, and listened to negative media tell me about all of the negative things that were happening in the world. Wars, bad international relations, murders, bank heists, terrorists, bombings, etc., and on and on. Add on top of all that crap my physical state, given the traumatic brain injury and multiple sclerosis, and it becomes a cauldron of negativity that has been provoked and is boiling over to cover everything in pessimistic sludge. This is the reason I do not really care for watching too much of the news on the television, listening to news on the radio, or reading newspapers. Too much negative input is not good, so I simply cut out what I can. I do apologize if throughout this book I have been repetitive. I actually have been conscious of the fact that I have been known to be so in the past, and I do not want to do that in my book. I have been trying not to repeat the same point so many times. But I know for myself that repetition helps get something to stay in my mind. My hope is that my repetition smashes these concepts of the passionate life into your heart and mind so that you think about it and realize that you can live it too. I was inspired to write this book and share with people that you can do the impossible. After reading the Motivation Manifesto by Brendon Burchard, watching his online videos, and listening to his podcasts. I mentioned his book earlier, but now I would like to put emphasis on the word manifesto. The word means a public declaration of policy and aims. A synonym for manifesto is mission statement. I never had a mission per se, so I shall utilize, or I have never had a mission per se, so I shall utilize Brendon's template and write out my manifesto. You can use mine as an example when you write your own. 1, and this will help remind me what I'm supposed to be doing and where I'm going. 1. I guess that's a little notation. What will our mission be from this moment forward? My mission is to be joyous, fully present, and engaged, exhibiting bold enthusiasm for life and all that it has to offer, and sharing with others how to live the passionate life. What will be our plan of action? My plan of action is to write this book, get it published, and possibly do some online videos and public speaking. Yeah, I had no idea at that point that I'd be going to meet Gary Vee and being flown to New York and, being at almost 2,000 followers on Instagram like I am right now. I know which is a small number compared to some people, but it's a big number compared to where I started out, 0. Anyway, moving along. And plus I had no idea I'd be on the radio like this. What steps must be taken? Write the book, figure out who my target audience is, and talk to a publisher. Get book published. Record some videos of myself speaking and upload them to the internet. If people like my videos, I will then look at doing speaking engagements. Those were questions about our overall mission. Now let us ask questions regarding our lives and taking them back from the oppression that would have us live differently than our desires. What am I really after in life? My ultimate goal in life is to be happy, joyous, free, and living the passionate life. What do I truly want to create and contribute? I have been inspired by the artistic contributions of others, and I wish to pay it forward by doing the same for others. What kind of person do I want to show the world each day? I want to show everybody that it is possible to be happy, joyous, free, and boldly enthusiastic throughout the many and various ups and downs of life, regardless of your circumstances. What types of persons shall I love and enjoy life with? I shall continue loving and enjoying life with the persons whom are already in it, and any that enter into my life from here on out shall add to the positivity in my life. What great cause will keep me going when I feel weak or distracted? The great cause that shall keep me going is my desire to build and live a progressive life. What shall be my ultimate legacy? What I leave behind for those people who are here after me. Okay, going back. It said the full thing. I cut out the last 3 words, but the full thing is the great cause that shall keep me going is my desire to build and live a progressive life with my wife. And of course, I'm divorced now, so that's neither here nor there. My desire to build and live a progressive life. And if I ever get married again, with my wife. At any rate, backing up, or going forward, what shall be my ultimate legacy? What I leave behind for those people who are here after me is hope. I want to leave a message of hope that despite circumstances, there is always hope for progress in life. What steps must I take to begin and sustain these efforts? I am already taking these steps, such as writing this book, but I must carry on and sustain my motivation. I already have a big network, but I must grow my network to get my message to spread. What will I orient my days to accomplishing this week, this month, this year? I will keep my magic magnifying mind focused on bringing the joy wherever I go and into whatever I'm doing at any given moment. I've found that it's very easy to lose that at times like when I get so just buried I bury myself in the I feel the pressure at work, get a lot to do. I overwhelm myself, it's not necessarily, I don't know, I do it to myself, and I just lose that positivity and become negative for a little bit. Just a second here, let me see. Okay, that was my manifesto. Here is a clean copy of the questions for you to use for writing your own manifesto. What will our mission be from this moment forward? What will be our plan of action? What steps must be taken? What am I really after in life? What do I really want to create and contribute? What kind of person do I want to show the world each day? What types of persons shall I love and enjoy life with? What great cause will keep me going when I feel weak or distracted? What shall be my ultimate legacy? What steps must I take to begin and sustain these efforts? What will I orient my days to accomplishing this week, this month, this year? These questions shall stand as an excellent goal-oriented guide to reaching your dreams. They get to the heart of where we want to go and how to get there. When we look back at the great achievements throughout the history of mankind, passion was the driving force behind them. Orville and Wilbur Wright may have used their creativity to invent and build the airplane that they used, but it was their passion that got the plane and their first successful flight of it completed. If Albert Einstein was not passionately curious, as he so eloquently put it, our knowledge of science may not be advanced as it is. Neil Armstrong would never have set foot on the moon if it were not for the passion of mankind for adventure and to reach for the stars. Only a few years after the start of the 20th century, an entrepreneur named Henry Ford, through his passion and his implementation of the assembly line, brought down the price of the automobile for the masses. Sir Edmund Hillary and his guide, Nepalese Sherpa Tenzing Norgay, never would have reached the summit of Mount Everest on May 29, 1953, if they did not have the passion to conquer the highest peak in the world. The civil rights movement may not have gotten where it is. The civil rights movement may not have gotten where it has if it were not for the passion of Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. for all people to share the same rights. India may not have gained independence from Great Britain if it were not for the nonviolent passion of Mahatma Gandhi. The original 13 colonies of the United States would not have broken free from England if it were not for the passion of the people to be free. Anyone who is considered to be great or has done anything considered to be great has gotten to the point where they are or done what they have done with a force of passion driving them. Looking at all of these achievements, I conclude that in order to be great or do something great, we must live the passionate life. We must not shrink back at the prospect of putting forth more effort and energy than we need to in order to simply survive. If we intend to live a life in which we are living up to our full potential, we must put forth as much energy and effort as possible, being fully present and alive, filled up with a vibrancy and an urgency to be our best selves. Try to imagine what you could add to the lives of those around you, and even the world, if you put forth your best self on a consistent basis. The results will astound you when you do this. I would say that the results will astound you when you do this. I would say that the results would astound you, but that would infer that it is still mere possibility. I have faith in you. Where am I at? Okay. I have faith in you that you will be your best self. You are still reading this book, so that tells me that you are certainly dedicated to personal development. I believe that because you are still with me at this point, you are a success. Maybe you have not yet reached the point that you are striving for, that place that you consider to be success. As long as you are still trying to get there, following the path of progress, you are an astronomical distance ahead of where you would be if you were satisfied with status quo. After all, it is not so much about what we have, yet it is about what we are generating. If we wish to have a positive day, we need to be generating positive vibes. The opposite goes without saying. If we wish to have more love in our life, we need to generate more love within us. If we feel that we need to have more passion for life, for those around us, or whatever aspect of our lives we wish, we need to generate that passion within. Life will sometimes land softly in front of us, as if to present itself to us gracefully. This does not seem to happen as often as the other alternative, which is that we end up having to work very hard to attain the level of life that we want. That workload is greatly lessened if we are passionate about what we are working on. If our work is geared toward our dreams and where we want to be in life, it seems easier and we are even apt to enjoy the work. If our work is simply something to pass the time until something better comes along, or it is just a way to bring in a paycheck, then it is likely to become monotonous and despised. Along with despising it, we can even get to that point that we are not only unpassionate about our work, but also about our lives. Our work takes up a lot of our waking hours. It is easy to allow it to take over our lives, as a bad mood at work can be brought home and reflect on those we live with. Given this comparison, it seems wise to opt for working toward our dreams rather than just working to survive. Do not lose sight of the declarations we have made. I have made them and hope you have as well. In order to reach our dreams and live the passionate life, 1. We shall meet life with full presence and power. 2. We shall reclaim our agenda. 3. We shall defeat our demons. 4. We shall advance with abandon. 5. We shall practice joy and gratitude. 6. We shall not break integrity. 7. We shall amplify love. 8. We shall inspire greatness. 9. We shall slow time. We need to stay in line with the declarations we have made if we indeed wish to pursue and remain in the passionate life. Obviously, you are still reading since we are here at the end of the book. Having made it to this point, I would like to congratulate you on being a success. You are a success in my book, and apparently you are into personal development since you did not give up and quit reading earlier in the book. I would also like to wish you a lifetime of joy and success as you live the passionate life. I hope you become a master of joy and fall in love with the life you have or create the life of your dreams. Either way, my hope is that you are filled with passion. Remember, stay fully present and engaged, and you will reach your dreams. Think bigger than your current circumstances would have you be. Remain hungry and do not settle for life being pleasant. Find what you are passionate about and live that. Then you will be living the passionate life. Stay positive and grateful, my friends and family. What happened to the motivated and invigorated surge running through humanity, pushing people to progress and be better instead of lounging around and looking for the easiest way to survive? Whatever became of doing one's best or trying as hard as possible? Why is it that people have lost the drive to keep going forward and reaching for their big dreams, only to remain restricted to the limited goals that it seems circumstances would allow us to attain? Why have people become satisfied with being temporarily uplifted instead of reaching for and living the life of their dreams? Society seems to have given up and succumbed to watching television shows about others reaching their dreams, even calling on the telephone to vote their opinion as to who deserves to have their dream come true. In the meantime, these voters could be working toward achieving their own dreams of success. Let us stop settling for the scraps of commonality as we arise to our feet and go after the great lives we dream of for ourselves and those we love. Let us tap into the inner reserve of energy and vitality to be able to move forward. As it may feel that with all the stressors in the world today, life has caused us to use up all our resources. We must keep driving forward. Even when life seems to be blocking us from reaching our dreams, we need to stay on the path of progress and keep dreaming until our dreams come true. And I'll just wrap it up right there for today. And it's about that time, so I'll wrap it up a couple minutes early and just say that I'll be back next week with and I have a guest lined up for next week. Actually, I'm going to be redoing my guest from last week, Easton Gladley. We're going to do another show together. And I have some guests planned for the future, so that's real exciting. As you know, I mean, it's exciting reading my book and giving all that positivity, but having guests isn't even seems cool, really cool on top of that. So yeah, I guess that's about it, and I'll just wrap it up by saying just reminding you to stay kind, optimistic, and grateful, and have a phenomenal day and a phenomenal week. And I guess that's about it. And with that, I'm out of here. All right. Ciao.